Good morning. I was talking to my wife this morning about indoctrination and how indoctrination is like someone putting their own viewpoints and opinions and trying to get you to believe them that way. And a lot of times indoctrination people who and it's not even necessarily conscious, it's just like part of human nature. It's discouraging you from forming your own opinions or from critical thinking. And that's why I always say, man, it don't matter what a person is involved in. For me, whether it's like NAAA, church, whatever it is, to study the books and the literature for yourself. Sit with that, reflect, meditate on what you're reading, and form your own understanding and your own opinions. Get an understanding of it for yourself, man. Allow your higher power, God, the universe, your higher self, your consciousness, whatever it is, to speak to you and download information into your spirit or your subconscious. And take that information, man, and form your own opinions. I will not be a part of anything that discourages critical thinking, that discourages me from being able to form my own opinions. And there's a lot of that going on in the world, man. I've been to many churches, man, and that's why I don't even do organized religion no more. And we don't participate in it, but we do our own studies, me and my wife, because even a pastor, once a pastor, for the most part, forms their own opinion, then they're teaching you from that perspective, which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's just, for me, I choose not to go that route because I have my own thoughts, my own perspective. And even in life in general, a lot of time we're discouraged from thinking. We're discouraged from asking questions. When you go against the grain, they say you're rebellious, or you hard-headed, or you causing trouble. We're programmed from birth to listen, to behave, to go with the flow, to starts in school, follow all the rules, do everything people say, and go to work, do everything your boss says, and once again, there's nothing wrong with none of that. If that's the route you choose to go, man. I'm wired differently, man. I'm wired to think for myself. I'm wired in such a way where something, if it doesn't feel right, to speak up against it, to advocate for myself. And I just wanted to share this little video, man. Like for real, man. Do your own research in whatever you do. Do your own studies, man. Don't just take it for face value, man. I used to think like even with the Bible, hey, God wrote the Bible. Then when you really do your research and you study and you realize that all these different people wrote the Bible. And I'm not saying that none of it was in. I believe that some of the Bible was inspired by God. I also believe, based on my studies, that some of it is the traditions of that time or certain people's perspectives. I mean, it's right there in the readings. If you read it and study, you'll see, Paul talking, Paul, am writing this letter to whoever, or like some of David when he's praying and speaking from his own perspective and his own feelings and what he was going through at the time. And just realizing, man, that just because we're taught something from birth doesn't mean it's accurate. Just because somebody tells us something is true doesn't mean it's true. It may be true for them. It may be the way they was taught. Like some of these programs, I see older members, like even in NA, saying, well, this is how we were taught. Well, just some information that we get come from misinformed people. Just because they were taught that way don't mean it to be right or accurate. That's why, once again, I do my own studies, my own research, and that's why I bump heads with a lot of people, because people expect you to just listen and be who they feel you should be, or do what they think you ought to do without question. And I don't believe that my God created me to be a robot or a puppet. I have a free will. That is a gift that my God has given me to be able to navigate this earth the way I see fit. Right? Whatever beliefs I form, whatever desires I have, is my gifts from my God. Right? And what people do is they try to place you in their box, with their perspective and the way they see things, their little box. And when you do things that are outside of their belief systems or perspectives, it's a problem. Or when you don't measure up to their standards, it's a problem. Or when you have struggles that they have never had, they judge you harshly and condemn you. Or if you have a struggle that they have overcame, they judge you harshly and condemn you. Not realizing that, hey man, I used to do this 5 years ago or 3 years ago. And I would tell anybody, bro, because this is another subject where when you go to judge a person that's doing something that you think they shouldn't do, whatever weaknesses you think it is, whether you call it a character defect, addiction, or behavior, look at your own self and study yourself and say, what would I change right now if I had the power to change it? And I promise you will come up with at least 2 or 3 things that you're doing right now that you're unhappy with, that's causing problems in your life, whether it's anger, whether it's being crappy with somebody, whether it's overeating, whether it's vaping, whether it's pornography, whether it's lustful thoughts. It's something going on in you right now that you wish you can change, but you don't have the desire, the strong enough desire to change in this moment. And for me, I find that most things I change when it causes enough pain inside of me. Pain has always been my greatest motivator for change. And we all have different tolerances for pain. And what one person may do something for like 5 years and then change that behavior because it caused them enough pain. Somebody else may change it, and it may change in their lives in 6 months. Once again, we all have different tolerances for pain. And we're all wired differently. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different teachings that people taught us throughout the years, different indoctrinations, different mental programming. So we all different. Nobody's the same, man. We all have different, we all wired different. Anyway, man, y'all have a great day, man. I'm just trying to raise y'all awareness, man, that you don't have to necessarily go with the flow, man. Be your own person. Think for yourself. You don't have to keep letting society and people think for you. You are created with greatness on the inside of you, man, with purpose, with vision. Use that, man. Don't be a puppet on the string. One love. I believe in you. Do you?